Welcome back to the Means Report. Congressman Rick Allen is our special guest today, the congressman in the 12th Congressional District in the state of Georgia. And Congressman, I want to go back to Hillary Clinton very quickly. You were expressing frustration when it comes to the House passing certain things and then running into a roadblock in the Senate. You have asked the Attorney General, along with other lawmakers, to appoint a special prosecutor to look into the Hillary Clinton email.
We signed 2 letters, yeah.
Is that another one of those things that's just going to is going to hit the brick wall and not go anywhere?
Well, obviously, the current Loretta Lynch is not responding. She hasn't been responsive, really to the FBI investigation. The FBI is not responsible for indicting. They're responsible for investigating. Now, although Director Comey did not recommend prosecution,
right?
It still is up to the Department of Justice to take the evidence and do an investigation on their own to see if Hillary Clinton broke the law.
So you asked the Attorney General to appoint somebody, and she hasn't even acknowledged y'all's letter?
We haven't gotten a response, no. So.
Let me ask you about law enforcement.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, there's been a lot of tragedy involving the men and women who protect and serve. Congressman Allen, I know you can't single-handedly do it, but I do want your thoughts on how we can improve relationships between the people and the police.
Well, I'm real proud of what our law enforcement's doing here in the 12th District. Our sheriff here and Sheriff Roundtree ran on community policing. Mm-hmm. I believe that is a real solution to this, to build relationships in our communities and to let folks know that we're there for them and to protect them. And it's hard to hate when you have relationships. And I know law enforcement across the country is working on this. We have a member of Congress who comes from law enforcement, and he's also looking for solutions. The bottom line is, I was taught as a young person, and I taught our children to respect authority. And so somehow we've got to instill that in those formative ages with our young people, to respect authority, particularly law enforcement. And there are just a lot of things, a value system and things like that we need to drive on both sides.
Is it
to deal with it.
Is it setting up, meetings with law enforcement between the people and the police?
Yes.
Is it, and I know parents have a responsibility as well to teach the respect, but would you like to see both sides meeting more?
Absolutely, and you're going to see conferences like that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about your work on a couple of committees. Mm-hmm. You are on the Education and Workforce Committee in the House, and more importantly, the subcommittee on higher education and workforce training. Mm-hmm. The question is, how much influence or impact can you impart to our higher education institutions here at home?
Well, we're doing a lot of good work. Some of the things, obviously we've got, as Newt Gingrich said, probably the biggest reform in education in 25 years in our Every Student Succeeds Act. And we're in the implementation process of that. We've had hearings with the Secretary of Education to make sure there's no disconnect between what the law says and their people, their interpretation. That's one of the problems we have with these agencies in the administration.
You want the Department of Education to go away, right?
Well, we got rid of 60 some odd programs.
Yeah.
So we're, like I said, we're chipping away. That bill is being implemented. It should be fully implemented next year. I've talked to our state superintendent. I will be talking to during this district work period. We will be talking to every superintendent in the district about how they're implementing the program, because basically what we've done is block granted the funds for K through 12 to the states, and the states then decide how to comply and be accountable to parents and the business community as far as educating our children. I think it's going to be great for education. I'm seeing so many creative things in education right now. It's really exciting. We marked up the higher education bill. It has not hit the House floor, but it's marked up. It's out of committee, and what we're doing on higher education is, again, and one of the things I'm proud of is an amendment that I sponsored there to consult with young people about their student debt. Mm-hmm. I mean, people are taking on debt, and they don't realize what they're doing until they get out of school and they can't get the appropriate position, and then it's a problem for them paying off this debt, and it's affecting everything. I mean, first-time home buyers at an all-time low because of the student debt. Student debt right now is over $1.2 trillion.
It's gigantic. And
it is.
It's a bipartisan issue. Both parties have pushed it at the recent convention. So my question on behalf of all the young people or the people who are saddled with all of that debt is, which party can help them faster, I guess, Trump or Clinton?
Yeah. Well, again, there are ways to get your education. There are lots of options out there. Students need to know those options, and they're not being properly advised, and that was the reason for this amendment. So hopefully they can graduate without any debt. Wouldn't that be nice? And that's what the end goal here is. But again, the funds are there for those who who need them. But you also need to know that when you get an education, a little bit about what your income might be, your job opportunities, and things like that. There just needs to be a fit, and the business. What I like too is the business community is really getting involved in education. We were out, Johnny Isaacs and I were out at Textron. I think y'all covered it.
Yes, sir, that's right.
On Monday, and what Textron is doing with education is what I want to see across the business spectrum. Because really, the business is who benefits from the skilled, educated workforce.
Right.
Business community needs to get involved. We're involved, the company that I founded is also involved through our association in developing a skilled workforce, because our workforce is aging out.
And these folks might not necessarily require a 4-year degree.
No.
They get their training and go to work.
Right, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a welder, you can make a very good living out there right now.
There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
I've told my own children, learn to weld. Just watching what's going on at Vogel and SRS, learn to weld.
Oh my goodness, it's really something. But yeah, everybody needs instrumentation people, because we're going to so many robotics now in manufacturing, and also welding.
I don't want to let you get out of here without touching on your work on the Committee on Agriculture. And especially, Congressman Allen, what the federal government stands ready to do if disaster strikes. We need rain here in Georgia, and if this goes on any longer, I wonder how our farmers might get help.
Well, we have a lot of we have plentiful water source, and that's a big plus for Georgia. And a lot of our acreage is irrigated. In fact, it's very difficult in Georgia to get crop insurance unless you have irrigated acres. But at the same time, it can only do so much, and we do need some rain. We need it, we got a lot of rain, about 2 weeks ago. We need not say so much at one time, because it just runs off and causes damage, but we need the rain over a little bit of an extended period.
Will they be able to turn to you for help, though, if things were to really get horrible?
Well, yeah, there are various programs that we have in the agriculture bill to deal with these kinds of things. But I'll tell you, we ran the same thing last year. We planted in the dry season, and we harvested in the wet season, and our yields were way off. And farm income nationwide's down 55% over the last 3 years because of commodity prices. So we have got to, again, that's one thing about Trump. He brought up the trade problem, and he's right. We are not getting treated fairly, because I see it every day in our farm community. We export 90% of the cotton we grow.
90%.
90%. And because we lost our textile industry with the NAFTA trade deal. And so we've got to do something about that, because we've been taken advantage of. And then we buy the shirts.
Well, I hope that a lot of the things that you've mentioned do see the light of day, because I know that you are dealing with a lot of frustration up there. I know that your efforts are sometimes not returned on the other side of the aisle. We got to just all work together to help the whole country, and be bipartisan.
Exactly, and it's perseverance. I mean, you got to keep pushing. And I'll tell you what, we've seen two. Like I said, you look at those two platforms. You look at these two candidates. You look at the candidates down ballot, and what they represent. We have a bold agenda. National security obviously is number one. The military of the 21st century. We have to secure our borders, Brad. I mean, this open border business is not working.
You think we're going to have a wall?
Oh, yeah.
You think it will be built?
Oh, yeah.
If Trump wins?
Oh, yeah.
We have a ton more to talk about. Our time always flies by. Re-election coming up in November. You feel good?
Yes, unfortunately, I've never met my opponent.
Yeah.
I've never seen my opponent at any events. We're very thankful to the voters in the primary. We won with almost 80% of the vote, and thank you so much for your confidence in what we're trying to do. Believe me, we won't quit. We'll keep fighting for you.
Well, we appreciate your time so much.
Right.
Tricia McCracken, the Democrat running against Congressman Allen. Ms. McCracken, please call us. We'll put you on TV as well. Congressman Allen, in the meantime, we appreciate your work and your time today, no question.
Good. Glad to do it, Brad.
Absolutely. Congressman
you.
Rick Allen, yes, sir. Thank you. Georgia's 12th Congressional District Representative. When we come back, a story to send you out into this day on a happy note. A man promoting peace, trying to get rid of violence.